ಶಾಂತರಾಮ್ ಶೆಟ್ಟಿ ಸರ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾನು ಅವರ ಪಕ್ಕದ ಊರಿನವರು. ಅವರನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಪಡೆದ ಸಾವಿರಾರು ಜನ ವೈದ್ಯರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಕುಂದಾಪುರ ಆಬರಿ ಪರಿಸರ. ಅದೊಂದು ಹೆಮ್ಮೆ ನನಗಿದೆ ಸರ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ವೆಲ್ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಸರ್. One guest, because to maintain all this time constraint. So others are our guests. We are introducing our Dr. Vijay Purushatham again in the session. So I am not giving an introductory note. He is a professor and HOD from prestigious Bangalore Medical College. He is an ex-student from here. Sudhakar Shetty is a very pet student. So I welcome you, sir. Associations, IMA Trust, IMA AMC Trust, IMA office bearers, everyone cooperated us, because first 3 months we have organized it very well, and after that Corona has taken up all these things. Still we have got 2 more meetings. 1 more month is there, 2 more meetings are. This is the second online meeting. The third online meeting, KR Kini oration, and that is clubbed with the declaration of the IMA office bearers nominations and results. And 1 more IMA meeting is pending. It was pending from month of February month. They promised, we printed everything. Our bulletin Mangalore is waiting there. So again they accepted it. The sponsors, they accepted from Kerala. They are ready to launch it. So that Mangalore will reach in the next month. Next month there will be 2 meetings. One is KR Kini oration and declaring the result. Second one is from Kerala. Kottayam, one hospital they are going. That is already everything is over. They paid some of the amount also. As well. So that is the good thing. We are having 2 more meetings. Then Dr. Kudwa, MAR Kudwa is going to take up. So we have published. We have given all the nomination forms. Please fill it and hand over to election officer Dr. Sachidanand. And one more thing is this time KPME Act become very lucid, very doctors friendly, because of the constant argument discussion with government and through some of our IMA doctors and government doctors who are in the ministers. Some of the doctors are there, so they made it very easy. This year, this month Mangalore, we have declared it everything. Please go through it. There is no harassment, no trouble. All those things where we had a lot of discussion about it. So I thank IMA state body, though they helped us. And this time 1 more post is there, public relation officer. Public relation officer post is there in the central committee. It is there in the state committee, but in Mangalore we are not having. So having such a big branch, better have public relation officer. That is the state committee has asked us. So this year onward, PRO post is also there. We have called for it. So PRO is representing the whole district, because IMA is thinking of, instead of 3-tier system, we are thinking of 4-tier system. Because in some districts, South Canara district, we are having 5-6 IMAs. Whenever district authority calls us, who to go, who to attend the DC meeting, who is taking a decision, whether Bantwala, other Mangalore, or Suratkal, or Puttur, who is supposed to go. So to take the decision, our IMA state leaders are discussing that better have one state district unit. So that is also there. Instead of 3-tier system, there will be 4-tier system will be there. So I request each and everyone to support us. I know all seniors, all our historians helped us all these critical time. I think they weekly 4 or 5 times we attended meeting with DC to implement some of the health issues, to involve doctors in corona activities. Day and night they used to call us. But IMA Mangalore, we are in the front. I think Sandeep Rai, Sachidanand Rai, Divakar Rao sir, Devadiga sir, Bhaskar Shetty sir, Ajit Kumar sir, Shantram Shetty sir. They, whenever I requested them, they came within 10 minutes to DC office to discuss all those things. I thank each and everyone. This is the credit. I think in the state, IMA Mangalore is the first IMA branch. We started the online consultation. By following us, other branches started. So there is 45 doctors of Mangalore. They came forward to give this thing. So this is all my request. I feel I am proud because of a great teacher. I am just a family physician, student of all of yours. So now I got a very sweet moment to felicitate my teachers with the presence of my great teachers, that was with Shantram Shetty, Bhaskar Shetty, Devadiga, Divakar Rao sir. So I thank each and everyone. Long live IMA. We will meet in the next meeting. Please give nominations as early as possible.
Start of this program. Secretary's report, last time we had already submitted the major secretary report, what we did during the whole period of 3 months as during COVID, which I've already submitted with a lot of us getting into academically involved. The resident went and got an honorary membership to the district collector, Dr. Rajendra, who also agreed to, and he was supposed to come last time as in this, which he couldn't come in the last moment because of some issues. But later, we also got involved as an IMA with the district committee as a, from IMA initiated the death audit. The DHO who was here said that we would want IMA strongly to work with us to know about this death audit. So we got involved, and in this 15 to 20 days we came up with this. Would want to very proudly say that all the members of IMA Mangalore have been working with the district administration very much academically and soundly, which is very well appreciated. That's what I had something else to talk to Dr. Rajendra about ICMR guidelines, and then he was telling that what he faces in Mangalore, yes, it's much easier as an administrator to handle because the doctors here, the private players, the doctors and the IMA is so strongly with the district administration, and he feels that that's given a better strength for the administrator to take their way out. And it was so very difficult in the other district when he was. This was his own statement, which is also recorded because which he has very clearly said that, which I'm proud to be a part of such an IMA which has a social concern and also been with the district administration throughout. So that's for the secretary report for today. Right now I have. Now moving on to the next important aspects of today, that's the felicitation of the doctors. I request on Dr. Amrita Bandari onto the dais to introduce our first teacher doctor who is to be felicitated, Dr. U.V. Shanai. Dr. U.V. Shanai onto the dais.
I may not be the right person because my association with Dr. U.V. Shanai was short when I was in TMFI and KMC Akkawar when I was in Kasturba Medical College, Mangalore. Though of course I had heard a lot about him, so I thought I should know. Dr. Annaya told you are giving he has given his profile so he can read it out. But I thought I should find out from his students from Mangalore how was he. Then it was, Madam, ಅವರು ತುಂಬ ಹೇಳುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಅವರು ತುಂಬ ಹೇಳುವುದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. Then when I saw his profile, it was quite a bit. ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ತುಂಬ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳದಿರೋದು ಅಂತದ್ದು. There is quite a bit to tell about him. He is Dr. Udyawar Venkatramana Shanai, called as Dr. U.V. Shanai. He is alumnus of KMC Manipal and Mangalore. After finishing, not only done his MD, he has done his PhD, that's in 2006, from KMC Mangalore. He is one of the foremost in hematology, one of the foremost pediatric hematologists. Other education background is he has done his diploma in acupuncture, in alternate medicine, and also diploma in Vedanta, more into spirituality. Regarding his career, he started as a lecturer in 1984 in KMC Mangalore, and he was the head of the departments exactly is not for which year, for 5 years, and also he was a professor and HOD of pediatrics in Melaka Medical College, Malaysia, and now he is the professor emeritus. He has held other positions also. He has been the officer of District Early Intervention Center. I heard that he has started that. He was also the officer in District Nutrition Rehabilitation Center. He was an officer in the District Hemoglobinopathy Center, and he was also in charge of the District Hemophilia Center. And I heard he was also the medical superintendent of University Medical Center, and he was the pioneer to start the blood bank there. His extracurricular activities, it's interesting. He was an officer of the National Service Scheme and also the staff advisor of SPICMACI, that is a society promoting Indian classical music culture amongst the youths. He has been associated with a lot of public health organizations. He has been the trustee of Corporation Bank Economic and Welfare Foundation between 1999 and 2002, trustee of Seva Bharati Trust Mangalore, trustee of Sri Sudhindra Medical Mission Mangalore, and he was also the member of Endosulfan Disaster Management Committee, Kerala State. He was the chairman of Ethics Committee, Integrated Medicine Academy, Kasaragod, Kerala. The students who are from this, and I asked him, what about his teaching? He is one of the disciplined and an excellent teacher, and he has guided many students in pediatrics. This was the feedback from the pediatricians here. He has taken part in or started many of the service projects. In 1991, blood donation camp, which has started the blood donation. It was creating the awareness for the blood donation. 92, Dhanavantari, which did the medical checkup and medical assistance to weaker sections in the rural areas. In 1993, the Chetana he started. I heard he was instrumental in starting it. It's a child development center for training of the challenged children. In 98, an Asha Jyoti Center, it was a forum for the challenged and their parents. 2000, Vocational Training Center providing skill development and a center for challenged adults. I am planning to read every one of them because they are very important. 2002, a medical devices assistive bank. It was serving to the victims of accidents and the senior citizens. 2005 started the Learning Disability Center, which is an academic assistance for learning disability. 2005, the Thalassemia Support Group is started providing iron chelating drugs to the patients and daycare. 2006, a mobile neurosensory development therapy unit providing physiotherapy at the doorsteps at 3 rural areas in district. 2009, Roman and Catherine Lobo School for Children, a residential school for general education for blind. 2010, Asare Daycare Center for Senior Citizens. 2011, Mobility Training Unit, training in mobility, braille and computer for adult blinds and low vision problems. 2013, Community Services, Public Park for challenged children and greenery promotion. 15, Navachetana Communication Development Center, Early Intervention Center for Autism Disorder. 16, Yoga Kendra, rural area oriented community services. In 2017, Endosulfan Daycare Center, Daycare and Rehabilitation Center to the children suffering from thalassemia, and he has a lot of plans. These are the 18 units. He has some more 5 units to be started. Short stay home for differently able, differently challenged children, rehabilitation for women with mental retardation, early detection, screening camps for children with low vision, starting special schools, so that not only 5 more units, he can start some more units, so as to provide this service to these needy people of this part of Karnataka. His wife, Dr. Geeta Shanai, she is also a pediatrician, a busy practitioner, and I hope I also can be associated with him in some of these things. Jai Hind.
Prabhakar Rao to introduce him to the August Gathering.
Friend, Dr. Prakash Shetty. He did his MBBS from KMC Mangalore in 1980, MS in Anatomy from KMC Mangalore in 1991. And he was a tutor, assistant professor and associate professor in Anatomy in KMC Mangalore from 187 to 15/7/2006. Professor and head of the Department of Anatomy in Father Muller's Medical College from 15/7/2006 till date. He was Vice Dean of Father Muller's Medical College from 2010 to 16, the ex-president of Rotary Club Mangalore North from 2010-11, undergraduate and postgraduate examiner since 1996. He has 10 scientific papers in national and international journals. He is a PhD guide for Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. His hobbies are very interesting. Trekking and touring. He has trekked in the Himalayas and all over the place. He has gone trekking. He is happily married to Dr. Sukanya, professor and head of the Department of Biochemistry in Regd Medical Academy. He has two daughters, Pratiksha, who is a software engineer in New York, and Samiksha, a fourth-year law student at Jindal Law College, Sonepat, Haryana. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dr. Prakash Shetty.
The next teacher doctor who has to be on it today is Dr. Ramdas Knight. Call him on to the dais, and I request Dr. G.K. Bhatt to introduce him.
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಾಮದಾಸ್ ನಾಯ್ಕರವರು 1979ನೇ ಇಸವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಿತ ಕಾಲೇಜಾದಂಥ ಸರಕಾರಿ ಮೈಸೂರು ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜು ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ ತನ್ನ MBBS ಡಿಗ್ರಿಯನ್ನು ಪಡೆದ ನಂತರ MD ಪೆಥಾಲಜಿ ಮಾಡುವರೆ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡರು. MDಯನ್ನು ಸಮಯಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮುಗಿಸಿದಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಾಮದಾಸ್ ನಾಯ್ಕರವರು ಅಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಪ್ರಾಧ್ಯಾಪಕರಾಗಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಿದರು. 5 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಅವಧಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೆಥಾಲಜಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇವೆ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿದ್ದರು. ಈಗ ಅವರು ಏನಪ್ಪಯ್ಯ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್, ಏನಪ್ಪಯ್ಯ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪೆಥಾಲಜಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕೂಡ ಆದವರು. ಕಳೆದ 38 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಅವರ ಒಂದು ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವಾರು ಸಾಧನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅವರು ಮಾಡಿದವರು. ಹಲವಾರು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಂಡರ್ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಜುಯೇಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಗ್ರ್ಯಾಜುಯೇಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಿನರ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋದವರು. ಇನ್ನು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಹೆಸರನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಾಮದಾಸ್ ನಾಯ್ಕರವರು ಅವರ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಈ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ 82 ಸೈಂಟಿಫಿಕ್ ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಅವರು ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಜರ್ನಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೇರಿಸಲ್ಪಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ತುಂಬ ಮುತುವರ್ಜಿಯಿಂದ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದವರು. ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ 10 ಪೆಥಾಲಜಿ ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ಈ ಅವಧಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದು ಮುಗಿಸಿದರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದು ಭಾಳ ಆಶ್ಚರ್ಯ. ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬುಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಅವರು 10 ಅಂದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಹೆಮಟಾಲಜಿ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ, ಮತ್ತು ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ನರ್ಸಸ್ನ ಒಂದುಗೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಪೆಥಾಲಜಿಗೂ, ಮತ್ತು ಡೆಂಟಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸಿಗೆ, ಇನ್ನು ಫಿಸಿಯೋಥೆರಪಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ, ಅಂತೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಭಾಗದವರಿಗೂ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಅನುಕೂಲವಾಗುವ ಹಾಗೆ ಅವರು ಪಠ್ಯಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ಬರೆದವರು. ಅವರ ಪಠ್ಯಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನೇ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದೆಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಪಡೆದವರು ಇಲ್ಲೀಗ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಳುವುದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಾನು ಅವರನ್ನು ಸುಮಾರು ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ತಿಳಿದವನು. ಇನ್ನು ಹಲವಾರು ಪೆಥಾಲಜಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸಗಳನ್ನು, ಪುಸ್ತಕಗಳನ್ನು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದನ್ನು ಅವರು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಕಟಿಸಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ತನ್ನ ಸಂತೋಷವನ್ನು ಪಡೆದುಕೊಂಡವರು. ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಂದಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಪ್ರಶಂಸೆಯನ್ನು ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡವರು. ಸುಖ ಸಂಸಾರದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ರಾಮದಾಸ್ ನಾಯಕರವರಿಗೆ 2 ಜನ ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮಕ್ಕಳು. ಕಾಣಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಜ್ಜನಾಗೆ ಕಾಣುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು, ಆದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಲೆಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಅಜ್ಜನೇ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅವರನ್ನು ಅಜ್ಜ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೋಪ ಬರಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ. ಈಗಲೂ ಚಿರ ಯುವಕನಂತೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತಿರುವಂಥ ರಾಮದಾಸ್ ನಾಯಕರವರು ಭಾರತೀಯ ವೈದ್ಯಕೀಯ ಸಂಘ ಮಂಗಳೂರಿನವರು ಕೊಡುತ್ತಿರುವುದು ಸಂತೋಷದಾಯಕ ವಿಷಯ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
Request Dr. Janardhan Aital to introduce today's Sudhakar Shetty orator, Dr. Vijay Purushatham.
To begin with, I would like to offer my pranam to all my teachers sitting here as well as those who are watching this program online, and best wishes to all my colleagues in the teaching fraternity working across all medical colleges in Mangalore. I consider this as a great privilege to introduce Dr. Vijay Purushatham, Professor of Orthopedics from Bangalore Medical College. This is mainly because we belong to the alma mater of 2 prestigious medical colleges. We share that. I did my MBBS from Charitable Medical College, Mangalore, and Sir did MS Orthopedics from Charitable Medical College, Mangalore. I did my post-graduation from Bangalore Medical College, and Sir is now currently working as Professor of Orthopedics in Bangalore Medical College. In fact, my acquaintance with Sir goes back to 1996 when I joined Bangalore Medical College as a postgraduate. Sir was working as assistant surgeon in the Victoria Hospital. Joined as assistant surgeon at Victoria Hospital, Bangalore, and he was attached to Department of Orthopedics. I'm sure Sir will have fond memories of those days, especially working in HOD's unit with Professor Regd Sir. So all of us know that during our post-graduation, whenever we have some tough problems, we try to take friendly advice from the junior faculties, and that's how Sir was very close to us and give some nice advice, and he used to appreciate my work so many times. So those were good days, I still remember. So to introduce or give a brief CV of Sir, Dr. Vijay Purushatham, born in Siddhapur, Coorg district, 1962. He did his schooling at St. Anne's Convent, Siddhapur, Kodagu, and high school in the same place. Then he did his PUC at Mahatma Gandhi Memorial College at Udupi. I think from that time, I think Sir's association with coastal Karnataka has started, and he always appreciates that and speaks highly of coastal Karnataka, including Koriretti from Kundapur. He did his MBBS from Mysore Medical College, Mysore, and D-Ortho from same institution, completed in 87. Then he joined the government service, and he was working in Government Medical College, Bangalore Medical College, Bangalore. If I remember correctly, Sir had an international stint also in between. Then he did his MS Orthopedics from KMC Mangalore in 2002. After that, he again joined back Bangalore Medical College as a faculty, and he has occupied various positions. In between, he was the head of the department of ESI Medical College from 2012 to 2014, and currently he is working as Professor of Orthopedics in Bangalore Medical College. In addition to this academics, he is very active in Karnataka Orthopedic Association as well as in the Orthopedic Association of various societies. He was very active.
He was the Secretary of Bangalore Orthopedic Society in 2006, President of Bangalore Orthopedic Society in 2012, State Representative of Indian Orthopedic Association from 2009 to 12, Secretary General of Karnataka Orthopedic Association 2012 to 15, Chairman of Legal and Grievance Cell of Indian Orthopedic Association from 18 to 19, Executive Committee Member of Indian Orthopedic Association 2019 to 22, and to cap it all, he was the President of Karnataka Orthopedic Association in 2018 to 19. During this time, his President's theme was uphold professional integrity and retain patients' faith. Along with the academics, Sir was very helpful for all of us in medical legal issues. He used to conduct a lot of training programs on medical legal issues and also used to speak a lot about ethics in practice and encourage the juniors to practice in a highly ethical way. He also, during his tenure as secretary, he worked towards professional indemnity scheme for the doctors, and he was associated with IOA also in all these aspects. He also has worked as postgraduate examiner for many universities, including MGR University, Yenappa University, JSS University, Vinayak Mission University, and countless number of universities. Faculty in various CMEs and conferences, published articles in state, national, and international journals.
I feel very much honored by this because it's a very unusual occasion in my life, and I owe this or dedicate this to my beloved teachers who inducted me in this profession. First and foremost, I would like to remember my teacher who instilled the interest in teaching, that is Professor A. Krishna Rao, former Dean of Manipal, and he is the one who said in a humorous way, those who can practice, those who can't teach. This is what he said. And he asked me, what do you want to be? I thought, I know my limitations. I prefer the second one, so I prefer to be in the teaching profession. So I love to teach because I, from the beginning, right from my medical student life, I was involved in education. I was the first one to join the medical education cell in Manipal. And thereafter, I had no opportunity to serve Manipal. After my second year of post-graduation, I had to come to Mangalore, and I met my first head of the department, Dr. Ramarao, who was an excellent teacher, and he used to take clinics almost 4 hours per day, morning whole of 4 hours, and every day he was very punctual and very strict and very much committed, and that attracted me to this profession. And the weekend we had to have a viva with him. We used to cover 100 pages of textbook of Nelson. Every day, every week we had to present, we used to have a viva, and by end of postgraduate, 2 or 3 years, we had to finish Nelson reading 2 to 3 times. And used to conduct mock exams, and all that made us well prepared for the exams, and naturally we were getting 100%. But other department people were making fun of him. Pediatrics, just walk in and walk out, you get 100% result. And that's second. But the amount of dedication of my professor, Dr. Ramar, is something enormous. I can never forget him. And then following him, I had Dr. P.N. Krishnamurthy, who taught me the art of examining the tiny tots, communication skills, compassion and all that. He's the one who preached and practiced the same thing. So I learned a lot from him. Apart from this, I have my ideal person in my profession, or the person whom I look at is Dr. K.R. Shetty, because I felt he is my person with high values. I thought I must be like me, try to emulate him, and I felt I must be something like Dr. K.R. Shetty. These are the few people who influenced in my career, and I felt I must take up this profession very seriously. I had a great pleasure of working with many postgraduates who are bright stars, who have been doing very well, both undergraduate and postgraduate, and that gives me immense pleasure. I don't think I have contributed anything, but it was my pure luck to come across with such students, and that stimulated me to read more and involved more in academic work. And I owe all these things to my patients. I feel they are patients of Mangalore and Lady Vaishnav Hospital. They are my real teachers because they taught me pediatrics and they helped me to teach pediatrics to others. So I always remember these people. And last but not least, I would like to thank my wife, Dr. Gita Shanai. She has been my backbone and she has the inspiration and supported me all through, looking after the family and all expenses and helping me to achieve all my ambitions in my life. So with these few words, I would like to thank IMA Mangalore for giving me this opportunity once again. Thank you.
President Dr. Annaya, Secretary Dr. Rashmi, Chief Guest of today's evening Dr. Yam Shantaram Shetty, another guest Dr. Purushatham, other dignitaries on and off the dais, my colleagues, friends, my teachers, and dear students. I really do not know whether I deserve this felicitation among many of the committed and passionate teachers of this medical fraternity. I was really surprised when Dr. Annaya told me he's suggesting my name for this felicitation. What more a teacher wish for? An honest recognition and appreciation of his students. This affection and gratitude of my students made my teaching job more meaningful and motivated me throughout my teaching career. I became a teacher by accident, not by choice. Though I joined medicine with merit, after joining my priorities were not exactly academics, and I completed my course in a very relaxed pace. I opted to continue as a general practitioner after working for 3 years as a duty doctor in Kasaragod Nursing Home. I started my general practice, full-time practice, but I did not have much practice and I closed my clinic. I restarted my practice, evening practice at Jappinamagaru. And one day I was having tea in KMC canteen and somebody told me there is a post of tutor in anatomy department. I was having tea with my good friend Dr. Silvan D'Souza. And both of us went to the office and joined as tutors, just for the, without any real intention of continuing as teachers, and thus started my teaching career in KMC from 31st January 1987. But after joining, I started enjoying my profession, interacting with young and energetic first-year students. I finished my post-graduation and served for 19 years in KMC Mangalore. Then I joined Father Muller's on 15th July 2006 as professor and head, and still continuing there. I had a small stint as vice dean for 6 years from 2010 to 2016. I'm really contented and happy choosing this profession of teaching and enjoyed my job as teacher for the last 35 years. I consider myself lucky for opting to be a teacher. It is the most satisfying and challenging profession I feel, interacting with young minds, trying to help them, understanding the subject, molding them, encouraging them, and motivating them to become good human beings. A teacher can have an everlasting impact on his students and can contribute a lot to the students' well-being and progress. Thank everyone who thought of me for this felicitation. Thank you.
I joined this profession by choice. Actually, from 6th standard, I had a very good teacher who impacted me, and I wanted to be a teacher in primary school. Then I went to high school. Then I thought I will be a high school teacher. Then I went to PUC, I thought I should be a college teacher. Then after that, my life changed. I wanted to join engineering because that time my belief is doctors doesn't require brain. Just memorize then give the treatment. If the patient survives, he is lucky. So actually I was in a dilemma. I didn't know that doctor means that there is a course like that, because I am from a village. So I got a seat in KREC. I was very happy, and suddenly, genes, what we call genes is, you believe it or not, there is a genes which decides your future. And my mother took my horoscope to a famous astrologer. He told, no, your son is going to be a preacher. She thought I may be a Swamiji. So the surprise is, then suddenly I got a seat in a government seat, that also with the 200 rupees fees for 6 months. So I joined Mysore. That time I thought I will be a medical college teacher. Of course, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, I was feeling very tough, and I anyhow passed. Then I got very much interested in pathology because there was a book called Boyd's Pathology. So I was very much interested, and that transformed my life. And I was a very, 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 very bad student. I want to learn something in a short time. I don't want to waste my time reading. So what I did, I was finding very difficult to retain the memory. And for the last 10 years, some genetic changes took in me and started writing. Believe it or not, the person who changed my lifestyle is the JP brother owner called Jitendra P. Viz. He called me one day. I didn't know that he was the owner of that. Dr. Knight, your books are so excellent. Students like it. I don't know what you are hypnotizing. So that changed my attitude. And today I have written 10 books. And they say spiritually, your happiness should not depend on external objects. You should be internally happy. Whether you are given like felicitation given, you should not be happy. You should be cool, which you call sthita prajna. External factor means, for example, if ladies wear a very nice dress and 99 people say it's very fine dress, and one person says, doesn't suit you, that is finished. 99 were the positive feedback we got, 100th feedback will spoil. So your happiness should not depend on external object. I am not talking about Rashmi Kundapur, please. She is moving here and there. Okay, sorry for that if you are disturbed. Okay, so my happiness became because he stimulated my writing capacity. And believe it or not, I am very young now. My brain is just 25 years. I spend 8 hours per day for writing. What is genetics? Yesterday I was writing on lung tumors. It is mentioned that cigarette smoking, 80 to 90% of the persons who are heavy smoker doesn't get carcinoma lung. Only 10 to 15% will develop. Why is it so? The genetic predisposition. What we call horoscope is actually a genetic predisposition. Now my genetics is so mutated, I have to write something each day. And minimum I write is about 1 or 2 pages per day. Without that I cannot sleep. And I am grateful to my father and mother. Of course today is my father's death anniversary. So I came from there and prayed for his blessings, and I am very happy. Your life changes so many times with so many things. And as Dr. Devdas Rai, whether he remembers or not, one day he called me, you have to give a talk on laboratory medicine in clinical practice. And I gave a talk. And he stimulated me. Every time he meets me, he stimulates me to write something. So that is actually not an external factor, but still I like that stimulation. So, and I am grateful to Dr. M. Venkatrai Prabhu, Dean of KMC, for making me to change my thinking. So apart from that, there are so many people who have transformed my and made me to read, and I read every day, and that reading should be useful for students. That is the motivation. Minimum I want to write 13 to 14 books, another 3-4 books online, So I think students like me, because most of the students, I have got about 4,900 Facebook friends who are all students. They give a feedback, such a fantastic feedback. Sir, because of reading your book, I got distinction, I got gold medal. One lady from West Bengal, she wrote other day that I got gold medal because of you. It is not because of me. I made the book in such a way, even an average person should get distinction. That is my intention. That is my way of writing things. I don't know how I get. It is through the genes and of course the God's blessing. And I take this opportunity for the office bearers of the IMA Mangalore for recognizing me as for felicitation for this Teachers' Day. Thank you one and all.
We are moving on to the main attraction of this. Before Dr. Sudhakar Shetty's oration, I would want to call upon the orator of Mangalore, Dr. Shantaram Shetty, the chief guest of today, to give his chief guest address.
Our esteemed President of IMA, who for the last 1 year, due to various reasons not under his control, had to struggle as the president of this great organization. But he still stood the test of time and proved what a general practitioner, especially from Kundapur, could do. Not that Bhaskar is there. Dr. Devade's wife is from Kundapur. She is from Kundapur. Now, we are all, not that we are partisan, but it is a pleasure to see them all. Dr. Annai Kulal, Secretary of our association, Dr. Rashmi, Dr. G.K. Bhatt, who rose to be the Vice President of our parent body of Karnataka in his own inimitable way, our own orthopedic surgeon, Dr. K.R., we call him lovingly as K.R., the person who has come all the way from Bangalore to deliver the very prestigious Dr. Sudhakar Shetty oration, Dr. Purushatham, the person who led us on different fights on different aspects of COVID as the AMC President, Dr. Sandeep, the person who has been responsible for most of the activities of IMA, the IMA Trust, and he is there in almost every aspect of IMA, Dr. Divakar Rao, seniors, Dr. Bhaskar and Dr. Devadiga, and the three people who have been felicitated, and rightly so, Dr. E.V. Shanae, Dr. Prakash, and Dr. Ramdas Knight. Dear colleagues, it is unfortunate that such an important event as the felicitation on the Teachers' Day, the birthday of Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, and the very important oration of our IMA, Dr. M. Sudhakar Shetty's oration, is being conducted in a virtual manner, and in the main hall, just about 15 of us gathered here. Initially, when Dr. Annai said I should be here, I told him I'll be there as a virtual man because I've been prohibited from my family and all my friends because of my age and diabetic status, not to be exposed. But seeing the galaxy of the people being felicitated today, and our own Purushotham delivering the lecture, I said I should be there, COVID-19 or Corona, whatever it is. Today we are celebrating the Teachers' Day. Teachers' Day and three very prominent members of ours,
Dr. Vijay, who has made a mark as a pediatrician, who has made a mark as a researcher, who has made a mark as what a person can do in his own capacity in different aspects of service to the people at large in Mangalore. I see him sitting in the limb center in charge of the DDRC and all those service projects almost from 9 to 12, and he does it with dedication. And coming to Dr. Prakash, he very well narrated that it was, though not his choice to be a teacher, but when he took up that teacher's profession, he has shown what a teacher would do to rise to be the head of the department of a very important institution of our country. And Dr. Ramdas Knight, whom I had known him for a long time, his fascination of writing books, not only as a teacher, but also as a pathologist, is remarkable. Writing books is a fascination. As he rightly said, he cannot sleep unless he at least writes 10 pages a day. And I think we should cultivate that habit of writing. It gives you immense satisfaction in life. All the same, all the three, I congratulate Dr. Anna and the office bearers for selecting such three great stalwarts to be felicitated on the Teachers' Day. Even Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan will turn in his grave to see three of the stalwarts, the teachers, are being felicitated in the IMA hall on his birthday, the 5th of September. Congratulations to you, and may God bless you. Though all of you are above 65 years of age, if I am right, do not retire. You see Dr. Devadiga, you see Dr. Bhaskar, and many of us, including me, do not retire. Work for the satisfaction of our profession. It is not for money, but to keep yourself active, as Ramdas said, and to see. Otherwise, I always give the examples of Dr. K.R. Shetty, Dr. Yuvishan I mentioned. Dr. K.R. Shetty retired at the age of 58. Even now, I tell him, what a waste of your abundant knowledge which you would have given to the patients at large. From 58 years to almost 80 years of age. Thousands of people, thousands of students, thousands of patients would have got benefited. That was lost forever. So go on as long as the courage is there, as long as God permits you to work forever. On behalf of all of us, the President and members of IMA, we wish you all well, and may God bless you all. Coming to Dr. Sudhakar Shetty's oration. Dr. Sudhakar Shetty has been my colleague for more than 25 years, and it is but fitting, a teacher of that repute, rightly an oration has been named. Many orators of different states and even outside the country have delivered the oration, and we are extremely happy that Dr. Purushatham has accepted, in spite of the COVID problems, to personally come here. Many of us, if you are given we will say we will give an oration on a virtual manner. He said, no, I want to pay my respect to the teacher, and I will come and deliver the oration. It is very kind of you, Dr. Purushatham, to have come all the way from Bangalore to deliver this very important oration. And may God bless you, and we look forward to your oration in another few minutes. Finally, looking at all the teachers here, I would end my short address by this famous Sanskrit is Dr. Prabhu is there, he will agree with me. Sanskrit is the mother of all languages. And in Sanskrit, it is said that teacher, if he just tells you and delivers a particular lecture, he is called an adhyapak. He is called an adhyapak. A teacher who delivers knowledge or imparts knowledge, he is called a pradhyapak and an upadhyaya. A teacher who teaches skill is called an acharya. And a teacher who gives you skill is called not only an acharya but a pandit who goes into the depth of the knowledge. Finally, a teacher who is a mentor, who gives everything to the student and makes him perfect as a good citizen of the world is called a guru. Guru is a great word in Sanskrit, and we have felicitated 3 of the gurus, and a guru has come all the way from Bangalore, and all of us guru being celebrated. God has given us this gift, and let us be great gurus. And thank you very much for this honor. I deem it a pleasure to be here, Dr. Anna Kulal and Rashmi, and may God bless you all. Thank you very much.
One more important things. Again, for the year of 2022, Prakash Harishchandra is also selected for State Working Committee. All time backward. Thank you all, the seniors who have helped us to achieve this. Thank you, sir.
Next, we go upon, I call upon Dr. K.R. Kamath to speak about late Dr. Sudhakar Shetty.
As well as teaching us, and all the 3, that is Sharangram, the functions he was Teachers Day, he was telling that 3 people, that is Chandram Shetty sir, Usman sir and Sudhakar Shetty sir, were like Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwar of orthopedics in Mangalore. Later, sir joined the IMA Medical College as a professor and became vice dean of the college. And Dr. Sudhakar Shetty trained more than 200 postgraduate students, and all postgraduates will always remember for life all the 3 teachers. There is no doubt about that, because of the compassion and the mentorship that was there in their association. And he had an inherent thirst for teaching and started the course, that is Mangalore Orthopedic course, which is even now it is continued in Mangalore, and it is known all over the country. And sir was never satisfied as a teacher. He always improved. Every day he will try to do something better, and not only he will make others also get interest in teaching. And that's the reason he used to conduct these courses and involve. And all his students were always with him, always like this. And these are the few students, including me, who became the latest staff members of different colleges. And there are so many. And he started along with Usman sir and our preliminary teacher, Dr. Chandram Shetty sir, this Canada Orthopedic Society, which has now more than 300 members, imparting fellowship, understanding and knowledge for the members. And he was secretary for the longest duration, and he used to take care of the association almost single-handedly, and was the ex-president of Karnataka Orthopedic Association and Orthopedic Association of South Indian State. And he got that conference to Mangalore and conducted in TMA Convention Center, and was an active member of Indian Orthopedic Association. He was awarded coveted honorary membership and a lifetime achievement award. He was keen badminton player and a social worker of repute. And Vijay Purushatham wrote in his write-up this time, he told he was always playing for winning and with a good sportsman spirit. And sir was always his partner whenever they were playing, and was known for compassion for his patients. That was one thing. And in IMA, sir was IMA secretary in 1997 and 98. PM Krishnamurthy sir was his that time president, and he was president during 93-94, and IMA trustee and secretary for a long period, and he was instrumental in this particular IMA house, along with Dr. Bhaskar Shetty sir, Vijay sir, and all the trustees, Divakar sir, and all the trustees, and K.R. Shetty sir was there, and most of the people sitting there are trustees in this particular. K.R. Shetty sir, Bhaskar Shetty sir, Divakar sir, Raman sir, and Diwakar Rao sir, Tiram Pinto, and Dr. Sachidananda has joined. And these are the IMA meetings here we used to attend and encourage the members to. And this is the time we felicitated when we got the Karnataka Rajyasabha Award along with Padma Shri Vijay sir. And this is we conducted Oasis Forum in 2007 along with all our senior colleagues, sir and Usman sir. And it was always interesting and IMA activity as much as also the Indian Orthopaedic Society. So Dr. Rajesh Pellal during his presidency thought that we'll start oration in sir's name, and hence we started. The first oration was given by Dr. Bhaskaran sir, and then Dr. Sharat Rao gave and Dr. Bhaskar from Puttur gave the oration, and this time we are having this is the association Oasis conference, and Chapo sir was also there during this. And this is the Indian Orthopaedic Society, Mangalore. We have started one oration, and IMA we started endowment lecture in his name. Amritkala madam came and that was the first oration. And Bhaskaran sir gave it, and this is the way it is going on. This year, sir is one of the pet and brilliant and very sincere student, Dr. Purushatham Vijay, can we request that we can. So please, yes.
Very good evening to respectful members of the Mangalore IMA. Thankful and grateful for having invited me to deliver this prestigious oration. Special thanks to Dr. K.R. Kamath for having recommended my name to do the justice. I'll try my best to do the justice what is possible. It's a privilege and an honor to deliver the oration of Professor Sudhakar Shetty, a teacher who is known for his teaching on Teachers' Day. I have chosen a topic which I feel we should be proud of ourselves being doctors at the time when the whole world is looking at one catastrophe and one section of the population as the saviors of this disaster, what is happening. Not that alone, pandemic or not pandemic, the kind of issues or problems the doctors have been facing in the last decade or so. I genuinely think late Professor Sudhakar Shetty would have been happy, because one of his ideologies is to always to tell, as a doctor, you should stand tall and be proud about you. And that is what I chose this as my theme of the talk. Just a disclaimer, because all these are my thoughts or maybe interactions with some NGOs and some important people in all walks of life. I think I have been very well introduced. Very thankful to Dr. Janardhan Aitar for having introduced me. I have to tell something about my background to build a story about this oration which I am going to talk. I don't think I have to tell more about this picture. You all know which district I come from, isn't it? So this is where I come from, Kurk. I was born in Talakaveri, Bhagamandla. Unfortunately, we had some tragedy a month back. In fact, raining in Bhagamandla, Kurk is not uncommon to us. In fact, when I was born in 1961, I believe it rained 5 days without a break of 1 minute. That is what my mother used to tell. So, but the casualties what we see now may be because man-made. We do not know. I will raised in Siddhapur, a small town. Now it's a big town in the south of Kurg, Virajpet, and my schooling was done at St. Anne's. It's quite popular among Kurg people. I think I don't have to tell more about this again. You are all accustomed to Kurg lifestyle, Kurg living. That used to be, there may be some change now in the last decade or so. Everything used to be joyous, fun, frolic, merriment. Little education used to be little behind, backseat. So the most important person in Kurg, in any town, used to be a doctor. In my town, Siddhapur, the government doctor used to be the most respected person, whether he is the richest planter or not. And he was the one who was always respected. And that moment I decided, if at all, I have to become a doctor, nothing short, nothing less, and I was supported ably by my sisters. And that was the first inspiration for me to take my journey to become a doctor. The further inspiration, those days I'm talking about mid-70s. Education, there are two things people used to go to Mangalore from Kurg, whole of Kurg, I'm telling you. One is education, St. Aloysius, or Puttur Vivekananda St. Philomeno's College. Second thing is orthopedic problem. Dr. Shantaram Shetty used to be God for Kurg then, because the casualties of orthopedics, falling, accidents used to be more. Accident and then it's not road traffic, I meant estate accident. So the moment the patient has orthopedic problem, I am not exaggerating even a word. The second word is, we will go to Mangalore to Dr. Shantaram Shetty. So two things. But here, what happened is, my father was advised, Mangalore is now a bit diluted. Why don't you put him in Udupi? That is the best place for your son, because he's trying to become a doctor. Let him go to Udupi. And then I joined MGM College in Udupi, where Kushi Haripras Bhatt was the principal. The inspiration started growing further with sky as the limit. It's about 2 kilometers from Sharada Nilaya, the Kunjivettu hostel where we stayed. I think Vijay will know about it. And we used to sometimes walk up to that KMC Manipur, 2.5 kilometers, only to see the white clothed, white aproned students running around, moving around, to cherish a dream that we too will become doctor. And that Sharada Nilaya hostel on the compound, we used to immediately after coming back from the college have our sajjige or whatever the snacks they used to give in the hostel, eat and run and sit on the wall and watch these medicos going in scooters, bikes, cars were less there, scooters and bikes going from Udupi, Manipur to Udupi, obviously to the hotspot Diana restaurant and Alankar theatre. So these are all, what I'm trying to tell is, the inspiration or the influences became such strong that I should definitely become doctor. Nothing else was foreseeing, only the dream of becoming a doctor. Of course, those days, the profession was definitely known as noble profession. I don't know now, the tag of noble is not being used for that matter in any profession, I think. So that was also another big inspiration for me to take medicine. 1979 I joined MBBS with the blessings of Lord Krishna in Udupi. I scored good marks, though I got selected in KRSC Suratkal, I being the 42nd rank holder in the state for engineering. My dream was only to get medicine, and I got the seat in Mysore, which is nearer to my home. And my first influence as a teacher or a guide was Professor J. Sigde when I joined DRCO immediately after my MBBS in 1986. Another significant influence was immediately after completing my DR in 87, I joined the one and only orthopedic setup, standalone orthopedic setup in whole of Bangalore. For that matter, I think whole of Karnataka, Jayanagar Orthopedic. I worked there under Professor V.H. Hanmantaya, another legend of orthopedics. The biggest influences started appearing then on. I worked under Professor M.N. Prakash, although outside India, in a country where I thought I can, because I had only DR, I had not completed my MS or so, so I thought I'd go and finish, try to get FRCS. So there was a notion that if you go to countries like this, that you can get FRCS easily. Didn't happen. And most of my surgeries were learned from Professor M.N. Wonderful surgeon he was, and always stylish at his appearance. I think in everybody's lives there will be a phenomenal influence, isn't it? Significant, rather trivial, or whatever. The phenomenal influence occurred only when I joined for my MS here in KMC, and that was late Professor Sudhakar Shetty. I can easily say he's my friend, but clearly in the Teacher's Day, he's my guide, my philosopher, and my mentor. I just tell how I met him. It was 1987, hot summer April. My colleagues were Dr. Edward Nazareth, he was doing MS, Dr. late Vishwanath, and late P.V. Bhatt. They were all my classmates in Mysore then. I'm talking about 1986-87. So they suggested, why don't we go to Mangalore orthopedic course? And that was our exam going year. So we all came here on the April of 1987. I still remember there used to be a hotel called President, and where we were all put up. So next morning was the course, the lectures followed. After that there was one X-ray session where a group of students would be tutored by one of the instructors about the X-rays, how to read X-rays, or question and answer session. So in one of the X-rays, while the instructor was pointing out one of the points of the X-rays, I just remarked a little louder, where is this sclerosis? I can't see. Then I heard a voice. If you cannot see the sclerosis in this X-ray, you will miss the elephant walking on the road. This used to be his favorite line. When we all turned back and I saw immaculately dressed man with a fixed smile but stern look, and he continued further to say, the mistake with you all is you don't know what is normal. That is the reason you find difficulty in identifying the abnormal. And later in the night, in the banquet used to be held in Motimal Hotel. So I was so impressed, thoroughly impressed with him. This was in 87. Then I walked towards him with my friends to ask him something. Then he said, where is your glass? Without the glass, you're not supposed to stand in front of me. Get the glass, we will discuss further, and definitely don't discuss the subject. We'll tomorrow morning 8 o'clock when you come, write down all your questions, we'll sit and discuss. Today we will discuss the life about your Mysore and our Mangalore. So that was the impression I had, and that continued to pour on me when I became student here in KMC and started working under him. His different phases of him, which all has been described by Dr. K.R. Kamath. This is one of the rare photos what I have. Witty and humorous, I don't think, I find most of the teachers, orthopedic categorically to me, of Mangalore and Manipal, all are witty and humorous. Sripati Rao, Bhaskaravan, Professor Shantaram and our late Professor Usman, all of them are witty and humorous. I don't know, one of the teachers from Bangalore asked me one question. Purushatham, I want to know two things. How this Mangalore, they always, I was also known as Mangalore person. So how these Mangalore people stand apart from us Bangaloreans. One, look at Shantaram Shetty, how he dresses. The answer is in their question only, but how he does. And second thing, how witty and humorous. Immediately they'll come up with one shorting answer. Why can't we do that? I didn't have an answer. I had an answer, but had I told the answer, that would have hurt the egos and sentiments of that person. So I did not. And another favorite line of Professor Sudhakar Shetty used to be, you can take the horse to the pond, but can't make it drink water. When he is so much frustrated with his student, this is popular dialogue he used to utter. I don't want to tell more about him because all these years we have learned more and more about him. Unfortunately, this was the award. One thing, I don't know, with due respect to his soul and permission from you all, one thing he always lamented that he was not recognized by. He used to always tell, I do all that, nobody recognizes me. So when he became me and we were bedridden, I was the IMA executive committee member. Then I thought, I discussed with the executive committee and Dr. Rajiv Naik was the president. He was a good friend of mine. I thought, why not we give the IOA Lifetime Achievement Award? Because we all realized Sir won't be there for a longer period. And fortunately, all the AC members agreed, and the team from IOA flew down with the honor, with his plaque on February 6th to his house. There was a small fanfare in that. Professor Shantaram Shetty was there. All orthopedic fraternity were there. Look at the smile he has in his face on that. It was around 12 o'clock. I still remember on February 6th. February 7th, 12 o'clock, he left us away. It was as if he was waiting for this honor to be done on him, and 24 hours later, he left all of us away. So, with great humility, because we cannot compare, I am called teacher, my students, but what student is my student? They say you are a great teacher. I laugh at myself, but you have not seen greatest of the greatest. I am just a small peanut around those grades. So that's why I say great humility, I dedicate this oration to my Guru, Dr. Sudhakar Shetty. So I come back to the story. So all these things, this inspiration, this excitement, this cherishment, this dream of becoming doctor, and I was floating high with acquaintance with so many legends of this orthopedics. Suddenly, I can say in the mid 2005 or 6 or 7, I continue to reflect. There used to be a change between then and now. Things started looking different. Have we become soft targets, the doctors? The positivity of being doctor or the respect that the whole population gave started sinking little down, and everybody started thinking negatively, even us, the doctors ourselves, that have we become soft targets of the population? So what are our issues? To think so. Medical lawsuits started raising. I think this is definitely one of the things which is increasingly, even with the amendment what we had recently, is definitely going to bother us for a long time unless we have a strong body which supports this. I am strongly into medical legal activities. Actually, Dr. Kamath asked me if I can talk on medical legal. I thought in this pandemic, let me choose something to pep up us so that let us realize that we have more obligation and duties being proud of our profession. Attacks on doctor, I don't have to tell you, most of you are all owners of the hospitals. Labeled as too commercial, which profession is not? But why singling out medical profession as you are too commercial, you are only money minded? And now coronavirus, I really do not want to talk about it because you will talk better on that. Let's look at another perspective. Common notions about doctors. What do they have? This is my interactions with, I can say, few IAS officers, some judges, I am a faculty at Karnataka Judicial Academy. I keep taking classes for civil judges. So when we have social mix-up, very rarely they do have. So I get some inputs from them, from IAS officers also, some engineers also. Overly egoistic. You may hate me to say this. With one of my students did a small study. I think we are all a bit egoistic, definitely. Arrogant, I don't think we are arrogant. We don't have much patience in our daily hectic life, that may be. Poor listeners, we are. Definitely we are all poor listeners. Well, I'm not telling all of us, most of us are poor listeners. Non-communicative, definitely. Most of the cases, I have followed about 43 cases in the courts of district, state and national. In most of the cases, the communication between the doctor and patient was the problem. Had it been looked into the communicative part of that case, that would have been died there, it wouldn't have dragged so much. Non-empathetic, wrong. I don't think we are all non-empathetic. We know our responsibilities. Accused of being paid. I have to whisper this because I don't know, all of us are uncomfortable to tell this about pharma sponsorship. We know that it cannot be cut down or it can be curtailed because we have to thrive on this because of the CMEs and workshops or whatever it has happened. But unfortunately, in my family, we are only 2 doctors. So when we sit around, when we have some meeting or dinner or get together, by chance if I or my cousin doctor says, I've been to Australia, the moment we say that, the engineering or banker, oh, we know that you are all being sponsored by drug company. That is the thing, that is the mindset, our own relatives, your own brother maybe having that. So, I don't know how we can solve that because it's two-way blade or two-way sword. You cannot, it's like busy tuppa, you cannot swallow it or you can spit it out. Let's be little analytical. What are the sources of our issues? The media, definitely the media is one of the forerunner in bringing up all these against us. But what? They are doing their job, isn't it? It is the TRP requirement what they are more, it's not that they are bent upon to bring the doctors down. No, I don't think so. It is just because the TRP requirement to sell us stories, to make things sensational, they do that. Patient and public, we all know that is when they become emotion, when they just weigh emotion, the godly doctor becomes demon for them. Bureaucrats, I told you, I was interacting with these IAS officers, IFS officers and all. Majority of them wanted to become doctors. They couldn't, and somehow they became IFS, IAS or KAS or KPS. So, they have, that feeling like doctors means, so try to put down whenever they are sitting in the power. So bureaucrats. And politician, poor politician, we cannot blame them. The word itself is like that. They are populistic. They have to look into the larger size of the crowd, not the small segment of doctors. So they are always leaning towards the public. But these are all from outside. But one thing I am really annoyed and worried is we have some self-inflicted grouses. The biggest one is comparing ourselves with other professions. Why should we do this? Tell me now. Majority of us have chosen this profession, chosen this degree or master degree on our own. Nobody pushed us, nobody forced us. You go do this. We tried something, then tried MBBS. No. All of us, I think, maybe 5%, maybe things are changing slowly now because my own daughter is an architect now. She said, no, Papa, I don't want medicine. So maybe that is the end thread. But having become doctor, having chosen that, I'm telling middle agers or my age group or younger to that, comparing ourselves with businessmen. This happened in Bangalore Orthopedic Society. We have a group, WhatsApp group, we're discussing when this KPME Act came. So suddenly I'll start selling tea from tomorrow. I'll put up a small hotel. I'll start farming. I'll do agriculture. But Baba, what is this? You have studied, you have chosen this profession, you have struggled so much, only to say like this, you're letting yourself down, you're letting your profession down. Why? So this is self-inflicted. Why do we create this? So the question now, I was telling you, I started thinking whether we have become soft targets or our self-morale has coming down. So are we becoming insecure, being dragged into uncertainty, afraid of the noble profession tag? I think, I don't know, I'm not a big person to talk about noble profession or noble tag. There was a discussion recently, and a lot of, with due respect to youngsters here, a lot of young orthopedic surgeons in that group started arguing and telling, no, we should never call our profession as noble one, and the nobility tag should be first removed from doctor's profession, then only the patient and public will understand. We should proclaim ourselves as businessmen. We are medical businessmen. Then only the doctors the population or the patient or media will understand. I don't know how far I don't agree with that at all. So I afraid of the noble profession tag. Let's see why. Now we know the sources from where the issues are cropping up. And we also know the notions of the public about us. Definitely, I'm looking at the reasons why it can be. The medicine is an unexact science. If somebody says here, I don't know, Professor Chandra maybe, because he's a genius among here. I'm sorry, I don't know the other faculties also, you're all genius maybe. I'm not acquainted with quite a few of you. In orthopedic, he is a genius. So for him, 2 + 2 may be always 4. But in my experience and most of our experience, it's not. We cannot predict how a case, an individual case, will behave all the time, same expectation or not. So it is an unexact science we are dealing. So we cannot guarantee the patient that this will happen all the time, every time you put your hand. High expectations from all quarters. Again, the nobility may be, or we have some magical wand or something like, or divinity or whatever. So they expect us to be, and delayed earning curve. This may be one of the frustration because of the delayed earning curve, pushing us to be frustrated and getting into all this problem, annoying and irritating patients. Of course, high-level competition. The most sad thing is medical jousting. I think once this medical jousting started, it's on. I don't know how it is in Mangalore and all, but in Bangalore and all, it is significant, quite significant, and that is one of the reasons why all the other factors team up and they are making use of target, I believe. So competition should be there, but not high-level competition to kill your own fraternity. It's like being a doctor is like being a goalkeeper. No matter how many goals you save, some people will only remember the ones you missed. Whatever you do, you save so many lives, save so many limbs. One mistake, not a mistake, one complication, and you lose the patient, or you lose the limb, you become villain or enemy immediately. So it's like a goalie, we say so many goals, but one important goal, okay, let's try. One goal he left that goal. So I'm telling you, it's bigger actually. It's not an easy road. If you all think like this, if you sit and start thinking like that, it's definitely not an easy road. Media, bureaucracy, patients' expectations are high. Everything is transparent these days. Google. Most of my patients, private, I'm telling, not government, who come for consultation, they spend 10 to 15 minutes, and in the 10 minutes, they tell about what they know about their problem. If they come with backache or some ache, they would have Googled out, they would have had so many options, then they come and sit with us, doctor, I heard, it is transparent now, so it is difficult for us to explain them, especially when we are dealing with an unexact science. Everything goes viral. Again, the problem is violence and all. So one small misdeed, this starts spreading through WhatsApp or whatever the media, Facebook or whatever. So how do we handle this? Do we complain and whine? We are doing that now. Or do we give up and just leave it alone? Let them do that, we will do our job. I feel, no, not both the way. We survive the challenge and stand up as proud doctors. That's what I mean. On the positive side, with all this negative what I mentioned, we are still on the most preferred profession. This is also one survey we did with one MBA student in 2017. About 718 households were approached with a questionnaire what they want their children to be. 784 or 780, I don't remember the exact figure. 90% of them had told doctors. So still, I think, I'm telling this 3-year-old, I don't think it's changed so much in these 3 years. We are still the most preferred profession. We are still envied for all the reasons that we are receiving negatives. We are still envied, and that may be the reason. And one never retires in the field. We compare ourselves to software professional. My wife is a software professional, and she's now 50 plus, 51 maybe. So she said, I'm retiring. They don't take in software. After 50 you're out. They don't consider you to be in the job. Wait, for us, 70s is not also, we have many examples here. So we go strong after 60 actually. So these are the positive things we have in our side. And those people, all those issues what I mentioned, they do not hate us. What have we done for them to hate us? No. It's the era of impatience. It's all impatience what is gathering, and they are just looking for an excuse to put us down. That's all. If anything, we are in the business of saving limbs and lives, nothing less. And when we enjoy the glory and respect, the risk has to be higher, isn't it? Wherever, whenever somebody is sitting high, the risk is always high, whether it's chief minister, president, or CEO of that company, or whoever is in the higher position, or glory is greater, the risk has to be definitely higher. Yes, there are challenges again, but I have the faith. That is why I put across the disclaimer in my beginning of the talk. I strongly believe each of us is qualified and proficient. I'm talking about we doctors, the one who are assigned and joined with IMA or any of the associations. We are all qualified and proficient. We did not buy some degree and come. Maybe there are some instances where few things have happened, but I don't think. Each of us pursued a dream, like I said, my dream. That's the reason I gave a preamble of this lecture with my background. All of us have pursued, all my classmates and PG classmates or UG classmates, they all had the dream of becoming doctors, and that each of us are here to serve. I don't say serve for free or keep serving without looking for reward. The serving means we are here to take care of the job which we fondly embraced. Each of us intends good. It's wrong. The medical legal cases are so badly, so wickedly looked into that we are all culprits. We are only making money and we are intending to do harm. No. So they quote in one of the cases when I was following one of my friend's case, it was bad forearm fracture which got into multiple problems. That advocate, young advocate, who did not know, sorry to use this word, 2 peanuts of medicine, he said he took a big chapter of Hippocratic Oath and showed it to the judge. Do no harm. Sir, look at this. This is what the Hippocratic Oath says, and here harm has been done. So that was the proclamation. I don't think none of the doctor, either he is highly qualified or less qualified or medium qualified, I don't think anybody intends bad. The nobility in the profession, again the disclaimer, I think our profession is still not the noble profession and nobility still extends. So how do we stand tall if all this is there? So just tell about all this and be quiet? No, I think there has to be some ways to look into these points. So I have something called 10 commandments to help us stand tall against our lords. I use the word commandments because it attracts the attention, that's all. It can be suggestions, it can be principles, it can be points. If anybody has read Edward J. Crane, Marshfield Clinic's article, wonderful, beautiful clinic, article which came in 3 or 4 years back. A couple of points are from his also. So, the first one I would say, passion, find passion in your work. We are missing that one. Majority of us are missing. I think I see all senior crowd here, the one who are listening online, maybe there may be some young crowd. Most of the youngsters are missing the passion in this profession. Without passion, what are we doing here? I think it's not just right to continue in this profession. This profession I'm talking in. Another profession you can do here, say or whatever. All the profession will need. If you find passion, definitely the joy will come in hand. Do not expect someone else to reduce your stress. Definitely. This is a stressful field we have chosen. Did anything, not even Hippocratic, not even the first teacher of your anatomy, physiology, tell that no, you are going to be better frozen. It is a stressful field we have chosen. Do not expect somebody to come and help you. Find your own solution. There are many ways, like I follow some of the Sadhguru's techniques of de-stressing. So there are many ways of de-stressing yourself which you can adopt. Doctors means working hard. You work hard. Do we have to? Yes, we have to work hard. What I mean to say, work beyond working hard we should think about. Working smart than working hard. We have to build a rapport with the environment in the clinic, nursing home, or wherever you are, than just working out and doing your professional duty. Like in the picture, how a hostile patient is being told by the doctor, do not resist change. I see many of us do resist change. I am like this. My experience is like this. The evidence is always like this. No. The resist is the bad thing for a change, because change is global. Change is happening everywhere. So accept the change. Your path will be clearer further. Take care of yourself and family. We are not doing this. Definitely, we are not taking care of ourselves. Majority of us, maybe what I am talking may look a little irrelevant to you, but this I am talking in relevant to the Bangalore size of the doctors crowd, which I am acquainted more commonly. We don't take care of ourselves. For example, the other day I have this shoulder problem which comes and goes now and then. So about 7-8 months back, I had to rush to the physiotherapist because he had to leave in the private practice, I told. Then after some prolonged sitting of physiotherapy, I came up and there were some 8 to 10 patients waiting for me impatiently. So the first lady who walked in said, "Doctor, what is the problem with you?" I said, "I have some pain here." I know. You tell us, do exercise, do this, do that. Do you do that? You advise us, but you don't do this. And see, because of that, we have to wait. So that was wrong for her to say that, but she was right. I was not doing the exercises what I should have done. And also taking care of our family. We don't have, maybe it's not just going back to home, having dinner, no. That may be personal, maybe, but getting out, taking breaks once in 2 years abroad, or once in a year. India is a vast country, beautiful places. Go around and spend some time with you and your family. Keep learning and updating yourself. This is very important because, like I said, change is global, it is happening. But unfortunately, what happens is the learning and updating will happen only in CMA conference, but that time they'll go back to this point number 5. They'll go for vacation on the CMA conference. They go. I've seen many of my colleagues telling, if I go to that conference, I'll sit first 1 hour, I'll sit. or 2 hours outside. So in one of the EC meetings of IMA, I had suggested Professor Sankarati was also there, I think 2012, when Rajshekhar was about to take, he was the president, to have a conference from morning 8 to 2 without any lunch break, just give packed lunch, allow them to go home or with their family, come back in the evening 8, give them a gala dinner, whatever, banquet or whatever, 2 days, 2 nights or 3 nights. Why do you mix pleasure and learning? Because learning is very important. You want to be all this, stand tall, be proud of your profession, you have to learn and update yourself. Know your limits. Definitely we have to know our limits. Promising the patient, I will cure this 100%. This is happening more in the place where I work. Definitely you come to me, I will do this. We know. Still, I told you unexact science, I have one more slide to tell why it doesn't work all the time. Maybe I don't know to tell again. So it's in somebody's hand, it may work all the time. So, and again, another thing is, why do you hesitate? If you cannot handle that case, refer it willfully to a bigger institution or a person whom you know is better acquainted with case. Why do you try to handle and make a mess of it and earn a bad name? So know your limits, this is very important. Do not get into rat race. We are getting into this. This is where the tag of that dichotomy, that cut practice, all this is coming because we are getting into rat race. Yeah, Dr. Kama told me when I was president, my theme of that year was uphold professional integrity, retain patient's faith. I'm not talking about life ethics and life ethics. I'm telling professional ethics, the code of conduct what we have from our association or our MCA or IMA, whatever. And integrity naturally has to be there. Without integrity, I don't think even honesty will stand. The last one is stay united. I think IMA has a bigger role here. We are not united. I definitely endorse, when I look at Bangalore Orthopedic Society or KOA, I feel we are not united at all in certain issues which we have to be and to face all other sources what I mentioned in a strong way. The medical jousting, like what you see in the picture, try to cut somebody's progress and you will also fall down and the unity is lost. I think in my small talk here I would appeal the IMA body to look into all this aspect. Why some of the superficialists are in Bangalore, they are never bothered about IMA. They do not know what is IMA. They only think their specialty, their super specialty as their body and nothing to do with IMA. So there has to be one united body to see that we are all united and face the situation. How beautiful T.S. Eliot, I am a fan of this poet. It's not the destination, but it's the journey that matters, isn't it? It's not what you do, it's how you do it matters most. And finally, I don't know, I'm more and more, 32 years having been in this field from my Abbakka time until 1988 onwards now, I think there is some force which is acting on us. I said unexact science. I also say same surgeon, same implant, same condition, the result may not be same. And again, I work in two sets. Government hospital like Victoria, poorest of the poorest, not Bowring, little poor. There also discrimination by the border. The Victoria gets the poorest of the poor patients, whereas the Bowring gets little richer than poor patients. So in Victoria, most of the time our assistants or some postgraduates used to do surgery with available implant. Sometimes the patient used to get pouring first, but at the end of second or third month, he used to walk freely, walk well, walk better than what surgery I had done outside with so much of preparation. And so who is governing this? This, I feel, this is not just unexact science. I'm telling you, there is one more force which is acting upon. We know about 3 types of karma, sanchitta, prarabdha and agami. The prarabdha karma which I'm talking about it is either his karma or the doctor's karma which finally puts the result. So, so I think, do your duty regardless of the end results. This is what is very important. Don't think about what happened. If you are right in your duty, keep doing that, and the result will naturally be great. And what has coronavirus done to us? Amidst of all negatives, it has taught definitely some good lessons. I may be cursed here, but we are all realizing now it has taught us some good lessons amidst of all the bad things that has happened. For doctors, it has endorsed our altruistic commitment. It's a profession of sacrifice. We cannot run away from this. Unfortunately, and with due respect to their souls, we lost so many doctors in this pandemic. And what can be done? It is the altruistic commitment we have in this profession, and definitely has rediscovered the importance of the medical profession. There are some big bads, the media is telling negative, politicians telling that all that is happening. But I feel, I'll give an example. I have a small flat in front of the airport in Mangalore. So when the pandemic started, I started getting notice that I have to pay some tax. It was in the month of May. So what to do? It was lockdown also, and our hospital, the COVID hospital, I had to manage my team. So I called up the office and asked what can be done to the clerk. You know what the clerk said? Revenue officials, corrupt, number one, corrupt in all systems. Sorry to say this now again. And he said, "Doctor, I knew Devidenge." That was just the pandemic had begun. ನೀವು ಅದು ದೇವರಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರೆ, ಏನು ವರಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ನಾವು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು RTGS ಮಾಡಿ, ನಾನು ಯಾವುದೇ ರಿಸಿಪ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ. In other words, he would have expected me to go there and pay him some money, extra money, and get the thing done. So it's a small, silly example, but we have found that divinity or nobility has been rediscovered with this. In closing, Aushadam Janavithoyam Vaidyo Narayano Hari. How many times we keep listening about it? Paper says, media says, when they want to praise us, when they want to tell us, and we feel, oh, we are all like God. But look at the shloka. The shloka is not Vaidyo Narayano Hari. It is not. It is Aushadam Janavithoyam Vaidyo Narayano Hari. What does it mean? When the body is decrepit and ridden with disease, the medicine given by the doctor is as remedial and sacred as the waters of Ganga, and the doctor is equal to Lord Hari Narayana himself. So, when he becomes ill, the common man, the individual, becomes a patient, he comes to you, you treat him, you give him medicine, then you become doctor, not when you are in the park, when you are in the theatre, when you are in the restaurant, you are God. So you stop expecting these kind of things from your patients. We feel better. So in closing, what I say is, we have to stand tall. It is the profession we have fondly embraced. The odds, all these issues will never go. They will stay with us. We have to make ourselves strong and stand tall. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, sir. It's been a quite long day. So before ending, I call upon the Dr. Kishore for the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. It is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's function, that is our Teachers' Day celebration. And today we are here with the esteemed guests and the senior doctors and IMA members here. In this time of, I can say, great peril or problem, that is COVID-19, affecting us, we are rediscovering ourselves, and we are adapting ourselves by holding these kind of offline sessions, and actually it is also having a good response. Even I logged in through and I saw there were more than 45 members who are attending this program in the online mode. So I would like to thank our chief guest, Dr. M. Shantaram Shetty, Pro-Chancellor of Mid University and Chairman of the H. Hospitals, for being in this function, for addressing us and supporting us. I thank you, sir. I would also like to thank Dr. U.V. Shenoy, Dr. Prakash Shetty and Dr. Ramdas Knight for being here with us. Actually, Dr. Prakash Shetty was my examiner in Father Muller's for my first year exams, and I am thankful to him that he did not ask many questions that day. And he passed me in the first go. So he was an external examiner then. So I thank you, sirs, for being here with us. I would also like to thank Dr. Vijay Purushatham, who gave us a very good, idea of being a doctor and how to stand tall against all odds. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank our President, Dr. Annaya Kulal, who is actually the backbone of all these functions, whatever we conduct. I would also like to thank Dr. Rashmi Kundapur, our secretary, for supporting us. I would also like to thank Dr. G.K. Bhatt Sankapitlu, our treasurer. Thank you, sir. And not to forget anyone, I would also like to thank all our senior members of IMA, AMC Trust and also IMA Trust for being here and making this function a grand success. Thank you, one and all.